When Liu Bei, king of Hanzhong, heard that Guan Yu and his son had been killed, it struck him like a thunderbolt. He collapsed in grief, weeping uncontrollably. The civil and military officials rushed to revive him, and after a long while he regained consciousness and was helped into the inner palace. Liang tearfully advised him, "My lord, do not let grief destroy your health. Since ancient times, life and death have been decreed by fate." General Guan was resolute and proud by nature. Such traits invited disaster. If you harm yourself in sorrow, you will only delight your enemies and sadden your friends. Preserve your strength and avenge him in due time. Liu Bei cried, "We swore brotherhood in the peach garden, to live and die together. Now Yunzhong is gone and I alone enjoy honor and wealth. How can I face the world?" At that moment Guanxing entered, dressed in mourning. Seeing his haggard appearance, Liu Bei wailed again and fainted once more. In a single day he collapsed several times. For 3 days he neither ate nor drank. His robes were soaked with tears like stains of blood. After repeated persuasion, Liu Bei ground his teeth and declared, "I shall never share the same sky with Eastern Wu." Liang cautioned him. Wu sent Guan Yu's head to Cao Cao in hopes of shifting blame. Cao Cao buried him with honor, directing your anger toward Wu alone. Both Wu and Wei scheme to use us against each other. If we mobilize now, we fall into their trap. Reluctantly, Liu Bei agreed to first hold proper mourning rites. The people of Shu all wore white. Liu Bei personally summoned Guan Yu's spirit outside the southern gate and wept openly. The entire land of Shu grieved with him. In Luoyang, Cao Cao felt uneasy after giving Guan Yu a grand burial. Whenever he closed his eyes, he saw Guan Yu standing before him, green-robed, long-bearded, holding the green dragon crescent blade. In dreams Guan Yu's gaze seemed to demand his life. Cao Cao awoke drenched in sweat. Officials suggested that the old palace was heavy with yin energy and advised constructing a new hall, the Jianshi Hall, symbolizing a new beginning. A master craftsman designed a magnificent palace. He recommended a towering pear tree near the Yulong shrine as a main beam. When men attempted to cut it, their axes could not bite. Cao Cao went personally and angrily struck the tree himself. As his blade rang out, it seemed as though blood splattered around him. That night he dreamed the tree spirit appeared, accusing him of treachery and declaring his fate exhausted. He awoke with splitting headaches that never left him again. Hua Xian recommended a divine physician named Hua Tuo. Hua Tuo, courtesy name Yuanhua, was famed for miraculous medical skill. He could diagnose illness before symptoms appeared. When medicines failed, he would administer a numbing decoction to render patients unconscious, then perform surgery, opening the abdomen, cleansing internal organs, stitching them back together. Within weeks, patients recovered without pain. Such feats astonished all. Stories abounded. A man who vomited a snake after drinking garlic juice. Chen Deng, who expelled red parasites and died precisely 3 years later as predicted. A tumor from which a live bird emerged. Hidden needles and chess pieces discovered exactly where Hua Tuo had foretold. People compared his skill to the legendary physician Bian Ke. Cao Cao summoned Hua Tuo to treat his headaches. After examining him, Hua Tuo calmly said, "Your Majesty suffers from wind phlegm lodged deep within the skull. Medicine can only delay it." Asked for a cure, Hua Tuo replied, "You must first drink the numbing decoction. Then I must open the skull with an axe and remove the source of the illness." The court gasped. Cao Cao's face darkened. "You mean to kill me?" Hua Tuo answered steadily. "When Guan Yu was struck by a poisoned arrow, I scraped the bone to remove the toxin while he spoke and laughed. Compared to that, this is minor." But Cao Cao, already haunted by dreams of Guan Yu, suspected revenge. He ordered Hua Tuo imprisoned and tortured for confession. Jiasu urged mercy, warning that such a rare physician should not be discarded. Cao Cao refused to listen. In prison, Hua Tuo remained composed. A jailer surnamed Wu admired him and brought food and wine daily. Hua Tuo sighed. My art has not been fully transmitted. I cannot die content. Here is my Qingnang Shu, recording my knowledge. I entrust it to you. The jailer accepted the manuscript gratefully. Soon after, Hua Tuo was executed. When the jailer resigned and returned home to study the text, his wife burned it, fearing disaster. Only fragments survived. Thus the Qingnang Shu was lost, and Hua Tuo's art vanished from the world. After Hua Tuo's death, Cao Cao's headaches worsened. At night he sat alone, clutching his head. No physician can surpass Hua Tuo, he admitted bitterly. I destroyed the only cure. Soon an envoy from Sun Quan arrived. The letter was deferential, urging Cao Cao to claim the imperial title and promising allegiance and joint campaigns against Liu Bei. Cao Cao laughed coldly. If I proclaim myself emperor, all under heaven will unite against me. If I do not, I appear to defy destiny. Sun Quan's scheme is clever. He declined to take the throne, saying, If heaven grants me destiny, I shall be like King Wen of Zhou, not an usurper. He instead granted Sun Quan noble titles to counter Liu Bei. Yet his hand trembled as he set down the letter. That night he dreamed of 3 horses feeding from the same trough. Uneasy, he summoned Jiasu. Jiasu interpreted it as a favorable omen. But after Jiasu left, Cao Cao muttered, 3 horses in one trough. Sima. Sima. Soon after, he dreamed of the ghosts of Empress Fu, Dongcheng, and others he had executed, accusing him. In terror he brandished his sword, and part of the palace collapsed. At last he sighed, I have offended heaven. Prayer is useless. My fate is at its end. He arranged his affairs, choosing Cao Pai as successor over his other sons. He instructed his concubines to live modestly, ordered 72 false tombs to prevent grave robbery, and died at age 66. After Cao Cao's death, officials mourned. Cao Pai received the coffin into the capital. With pressure from ministers and an edict extracted from Emperor Xian, Cao Pai was proclaimed King of Wei. During the celebrations came alarming news. Cao Zhang marched from Chang'an with a great army. Cao Pai feared a struggle for succession. At that critical moment, one man stepped forward, claiming he could resolve the crisis with words alone. Who he was will be revealed in the next chapter. Summary. This chapter centers on 2 monumental events. First, Liu Bei's devastating grief over Guan Yu's death drives a permanent rift between Shu and Eastern Wu. His sorrow transforms into vengeance, setting the stage for future war. Second, Cao Cao's final days are marked by illness, paranoia, and supernatural dread. His execution of Hua Tuo symbolizes how political suspicion can destroy genius. The burning of the Qingnang Shu deepens the tragedy, representing the irretrievable loss of knowledge. Cao Cao's refusal to proclaim himself emperor reflects his complex character. Ambitious yet cautious, ruthless yet politically calculating. His death marks the end of a towering figure of the era. With Cao Pai inheriting power, the Wei regime formally transitions toward imperial rule. Meanwhile, the ominous 3 horses in one trough foreshadows the eventual rise of the Sima clan, who will later seize control and establish the Jin dynasty. The passing of Cao Cao closes one epoch and ushers the 3 kingdoms into a new and more volatile phase. Knowledge points. 1. Hua Tuo's cranial surgery. In the historical records of the three kingdoms, Hua Tuo was indeed a skilled physician, but there is no clear evidence that he proposed a dramatic skull-opening operation to remove wind phlegm. The novel amplifies this into something resembling modern brain surgery. Given the medical limitations of the late Eastern Han, successful cranial surgery of this kind would have been extraordinarily unlikely. The episode serves more as literary dramatization than historical fact. 2. The Qingnang Shu. Historical sources suggest Hua Tuo intended to transmit medical writings before his death, but whether the Qingnang Shu truly existed remains debated. The detailed story of the manuscript being burned belongs largely to later legend and fictional embellishment. It symbolizes the tragic loss of knowledge due to political fear. 3. The dream of three horses in one trough. There is no record in official histories of Cao Cao dreaming of three horses feeding together. This is a literary device created by Luo Guanzhong, written with hindsight knowledge that the Sima family, whose surname contains the character horse, would eventually overthrow Wei and found the Jin dynasty. It serves as deliberate foreshadowing woven into the narrative.